I'm Daphne from Daps Makeup, and I am excited for today's video because it is that time of year. It's the time for 6-month faves. And to be honest, I think I might need to change the title to like 6-month updates or rankings or something like that. Because what I've decided to do for this video is, I'm not just going to tell you like what are my favorite items. I'm actually going to go through all the makeup that I bought in the last 6 months. Now this excludes skincare. And technically I'm also going to exclude a couple items that I bought that were like indie / drugstore. It's really just all the luxury high-end makeup that I bought. And this is mainly, all these items I pretty much have done a review video for you guys, or some of the items were just in shorts. So I might not have done a full review for you guys, but then you'll get it now, right? But I wanted to give you guys an update on what I think of these products because, you know, when I do these review videos, typically it's either a first impressions or fine, I had been using it for a week straight for you guys, but like now it's been months. Now, do I still feel the same way I felt when I first tried these products? Do I gravitate to them? Did I just use them that week and then I really haven't been using them since? You know, I'll let you know. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through product categories like lipstick, blushes, eyeshadows, and I am gonna actually attempt to rank the products, rank all my purchases, and I'll let you know why some are falling to the bottom, why some are going to the top. You know, I'm not good at ever doing fails on this channel. I've actually have said this before. Everything that I buy are makeup that I'm buying for myself. Is coming out of my own pocket. I'm not buying this just to review for you guys. I actually buy them for myself and then I review for you guys. So everything I buy with the intention that I'm gonna like them. If I know ahead of time there is a product that's come out that I know I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna buy it. So everything I buy tends to be things that I know I'm going to like. And so I usually do like the things that I buy. But there are some times where things can be, we'll just say, disappointment. Things that don't live quite up to my expectations. I generally don't end up hating anything I buy, but there's obviously things that I truly love, things that I get surprised by, I end up loving more than I expected, and then some things, you know, don't work out as well as I thought. So you'll get to find out what exceeded my expectations, what were kind of disappointments, one things that are just okay, things that I found myself constantly grabbing to, and you might be surprised because I surprised myself, and things that like, yeah, oh God, I forgot about those. And I actually, in the last week or two, I've actually been purposely using items, actually the things that I knew I hadn't been using in a while, I purposely used them recently so I could remind myself about the product so I could properly critique for you guys and see why I haven't been using it. Was it just because I kind of forgot about them? Is it just because of the change in season? Or was there something about that product that, yeah, there's a reason I haven't been quite using them as much. So yeah, we got a lot to go through. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to end with eyeshadow palettes because I think that's save the best for last. I think that's what most, it's the most fun category, what people are most interested in. And I'm going to start with the lipsticks because that's just a fun category. And then, all the other categories will fall somewhere in the middle. I'll say also my lipstick and the eyeshadow palettes are my biggest categories. I probably have about like 10 products for each of those categories, where everything else I actually only have like maybe 2 or 3 for those categories. So those will go a little bit quicker and much easier to rank 1, 2, and 3. Versus having to rank 1 through 10 is tougher. Because it gets tough to really distinguish what's going to be a 3, 4, 5, 6. Even as I rank these, this can certainly change, but this is just kind of where I'm thinking at the moment. But we are going to first start with lipsticks. And like I said, I got a lot. So let's get through this box and let's get started. Okay, so what lipstick product fell to the bottom of my list? And it is Chanel's Rouge Coco Flash, specifically in the shade Rosa. It's not because of the formula, because I actually absolutely love this formula. And actually, I have another lipstick in this formula, but in a different shade that is much higher on the list. So it's not because of the formula. It is actually truly because of the shade. I'm going to try to swatch for you. So I hope you can appreciate it. It's something that is very sheer, but it does have this nice subtle iridescence, so it's cute. But I realize I haven't really been gravitating to it. It's a very subtle color, but it's also you got to be in a specific mood for it. But if you take this and especially line it with a cool tone brown lip liner, it's cute. So I don't hate it. I actually need to push myself to use it more. I had actually lost this in one of my purses, and I had to find it. So maybe it's just I need to put it back in its rightful place. And so if it's in front of me, I might use it more. But still, I think it rightly so should be at the bottom of my list. Next is actually Prada. And it's, once again, this is not about formula. When it comes to this ranking, at least for the lipstick, it's not about formula. Because actually, if you watch my 2024 favorite makeup list, Prada was my #1 for lipsticks. Prada actually has my favorite matte lipstick formula. So it's not for the formula, because I absolutely love Prada's formula, and they get A+ on the packaging. And actually, that's the reason why I even bought this, to be honest, was for the packaging. I was just excited to get this lipstick, instead of being all silver, to get this kind of bronzy, brown, metallic packaging. So I bought it for the packaging. And the thing about it is, this was like a special edition packaging, and they only came out with 3 shades, 2 of which were old, 1 was technically new. But they only released this case in 3 shades. And I actually had a tough time even figuring out which one to pick, because I have to say the shades choices, they were, but I get it, because they were going for this whole nude concept, and it goes with the eyeshadow palettes, and we'll talk about that later. But they went for really nude tones, and not to say it doesn't work on deeper complexions as myself, but I think the 3 shades they picked are probably look even better on those of fairer skin tones. They picked shades they knew wouldn't look necessarily bad on my skin tone, but are not necessarily ideal. I mean, to be honest, Prada has 25 shades. So let's say if they have 25 shades, these wouldn't be the top 3. But out of the 3 that were chosen, I think I did pick the right choice of the 3. It was B107, and it's not a bad color. I put this at the bottom of the list because, #1, I realized I haven't been using it. And I was like, why haven't been using it? So I did use it recently. By itself, against my skin tone, and my arm tends to be a little bit lighter, but when I put this on my lips, it's very natural. Very natural. And so it doesn't look bad on me at all, but it doesn't pop. But I will say, and what I did the last time is I made sure to put it with a brown liner, and I actually topped it off with, it was a Tom Ford. It was like a peachy gold gloss. It doesn't have to be Tom Ford, of course, but if you just put it with a nice gloss, then this shade can really pop. It's nice, it's pretty, but it's just just a shade, it's just one I haven't particularly been gravitating to, but formula is fantastic. Is the Chanel lip balms. And I think you can kind of also tell as I'm going through these, I'm kind of putting the more subtle lipsticks at the bottom of the list, and then the more pigmented, prominent ones at the top. So like I said, it's not so much the formula's bad, but if you're going to compare a lip balm to lipstick, it's kind of hard to put a lip balm ahead of a lipstick. I think you got me. So I do like the formula. The packaging is cute. They did switch it up a little bit. I love that you can see the colors at the top, which is different from the original packaging. So I do love them. I got 3 out of the shades. I'm grouping them all together for the purpose of our ranking, but I'll even tell you my ranking between these 3. But I like them all. I actually do. Though there's pink, cute shade, I think just because I'm not necessarily a huge pink girl. I do pink, but like I haven't used this as much, but I used it the other day. Loved it. This one is the most subtle, but probably is going to, because of that, be the most used. It's the most natural, Honey Bliss. I know you can like barely see it, but at the same time, for a lip balm, if I'm just trying to run out the door, this is just an easy, breezy shade to just put on and not think about it. The most fun is the purple one, Charming Lilac. If I could only buy one, this was the one. I started with this one. It's just a fun shade. On my skin tone and just my personal preference, I love purples. This color just really pops. So I love this shade. Next, the new Dior Lip Glow Butters. I got two of them. The other one, the other shade is in one of my purses. I didn't bother to go grab it. It's the more nudie beige one. But obviously, you know, I was a sucker for the charm. We can argue that the rest of the packaging in general is cheap, or you can get a more affordable lip gloss for half the price. I get it. But yes, we love the little cute little charm. But at the end of the day, as a formula, it is a good formula for a lip gloss. I put it ahead of the Chanel because, you know, I think the gloss is just a step up. I love the shine, and maybe it's more recent in my history because it's the last purchase that I made. But yeah, next is the Dior. Now we're getting into the top 5 of the lipstick category. So these ones I'm really feeling in particular. I told you, I don't have an issue with Chanel's Rouge Coco Flash shade. And this is the newest one, and it's actually on my lips now. And I just think this is perfect for summer. You know, it's like when you're going for that bronzy look, it's just a perfect bronzy brown, orangey, reddish brown. Perfect for the summer. The formula is so comfortable, easy to apply. I just, especially given the time of year right now, I just can see myself using this a lot. So I just think this is a perfect summer lipstick. Next, Lisa Eldridge. Lisa Eldridge, you know, you can always count on her for having a great formula, packaging, beautiful. It's weighty. It feels luxe. So I had to give her props for that. Now, I will say this particular shade, which I couldn't wait for, but I will say, you know, as you could tell, it's kind of would probably be better for kind of the fall winter. I did recently use it, still loved it. This kind of deep berry shade, especially great for fall winter. And Lisa Eldridge had come out with this formula actually like the fall or winter, but this was the one shade she was missing. And then when she finally came up with it, it was like basically springtime. I think this was meant to be you know, release in the winter, fall, which this would have been perfect for. So I might not be using the shade as much, but I can't deny the formula. I can't deny the packaging. I had to wait long for it, but I'm happy that I got it in this shade. I'll put the name up top. Next, I'm putting Dior. Like I really have... This is definitely a personal thing. I really have an affinity to these Dior Addict formula, and especially this case. First and foremost, yes, I told you I'm always a sucker for packaging. I could not wait to get this packaging. I always love this formula. I own this in many shades. I had gotten one of the newer shades, and this is kind of just a shade, even though I know, you know, it's something that's not as pigmented as like a Lisa Eldridge, but this is just an easy shade for me to wear. I like kind of a mauve pink. I can just see myself, I have been using it a lot, but I can see myself using it all year round. Like it doesn't matter the season, and it's easy to use, easy to apply. So yeah, just for me personally, it's just one of those ones that I know I'll keep using, and the case is just divine. Okay, top 2. Who's in the number 2 position? I'm giving it to Fenty. You might be surprised, but yes, I know I'm a big luxury girl, but Fenty came through. You know, she's famous for her gloss bombs, but she made the new formula called Fenty Oil Gloss Bomb. I'll make sure the right names. But so it's a more slicker version of a gloss bomb. So it's Yeah, it's not as thick. Definitely have more shine to it, but you know, it's kind of similar. The doe foot is different. This particular shade, Rose Amber, love this shade. You apply this with a brown liner, gorgeous. It's kind of like the Rosa, but a better version. Like where Rosa barely shows up, she shows up. So she's great with a brown liner, but I can also use it like a traditional lip gloss and put it on top of a lip gloss, and it works. So I love it. I'm a sucker. Okay, last category, and there's 3 in this last category, but I'm grouping them all together. I don't care. Chanel. These are their liquid lipsticks. They had come out with a bunch of new shades. Now they also had gotten rid of some shades, but they came out with a couple new shades, and I think maybe 5 of them. But I got these 3, and I think especially if you're my skin tone, all 3 are great. It's a fabulous formula. If I had to rank these 3 amongst themselves, at the bottom, red, brown, pretty, but I just tend to lean more towards neutral and cool tones. Intense nude, just a beautiful nudie mauve. Obviously, kind of, you could tell I'm into that kind of tone. And actually, this beige nude, it's called caramel beige, sorry. It's just that, like, your lips, but better. It's just perfect. You put this with a brown liner. It's just like you add these, you add the gloss, you know, you have the pigmented side and then you have the gloss side on the other side. Once you add the gloss on top of these, it just pops, and I love the formula. Fabulous. Favorite lipsticks for this year. I know that was a lot. Moving on to next category. Like I said, the next several categories are actually going to go a lot faster. I have less products till we get to the eyeshadow palettes. Since we did lipsticks, let's quickly get lip liners out of the way. I got 3, and they're all from MAC. You know you can count on MAC for having a great lip liner formula, so that's not the issue. They just came out with new shades, and I had gotten 3. And so if I had to rank these 3 shades, the first one I would definitely recommend is Root for me. This will definitely be the most used because it's a brown, but it's just this brown. I don't know. It has like a little bit of purple to it, a little bit of mauve to it, but not too purple. Like it's just a great alternative to like chestnut. It just has a little more red or a little more mauve, a little bit purple. There's just something different about the undertone, but it's fantastic. The next one is Cyber World. Now, as we keep going through this, now it's going to get more and more purple. So this is definitely more of a purple. This is a great pairing when I'm doing a mauve lipstick. And then the last one called Grape Expectation is purple. So you got to really love purple for this. But I do like to wear purple lipstick, so it's great if I'm wearing a deep purple lipstick that I have a lip liner. So this one I don't use as much, but when I wear that lipstick, a deep purple lipstick, I got the perfect pairing and so forth. So, but the most used for me would be Root for me. So if you could only get one, that would be the one I recommend, but all 3 are great. Next, let's do eyeliners. And same thing, I got 3 in this category, but this time 2 different brands. Bottom 2 is gonna go to Chanel. These are the Stylos Yeux waterproof. They came out with 2 new shades. This is Intense Mauve. This goes on the bottom just because on my skin tone, it doesn't pop as much. It shows up, but it's not that deep of a purple. But I still like it for the lower lash line because it kind of like opens up my eyes a little bit. But as you can see, it's not that pigmented. They have a more deeper purple than this choice. Then number 2 is Vert Lagoon. I love this. This is such a great green shade. Like you see how it pops. You can see the difference. This pops. It's a fantastic green color. So I absolutely love that. So if you could only pick one out of the 2, go with the green. But number 1 spot's going to go to Victoria Beckham because I just love her formula more so than Chanel. Victoria's number 1, Chanel is number 2 in terms of formula. And also just shades. So this shade is called Jeans. I love this shade. I own some blues already from Victoria and I was wondering, do I still need this? Yes, I do. This blue is just different from the other blues. It's just it's a jean color blue, and so it's nice to have, because I have the navy noir, I have the Surfside, so I have my navy blue, I have my teal, but to have this kind of more denim cool tone blue, it's soft, it's not too deep, not too dark, it's a nice happy medium, so love it. Sticking to the eyes, let's do mascara, and then don't worry, we're gonna do some fun like blushes next. So mascaras, I bought 4 this year. A lot of brands were coming on mascaras. Also Giorgio Armani came out with mascara. I didn't get theirs, and I'm sure more brands are gonna come out with more. But in terms of the 4 that I got, so I'm gonna put Lisa Eldridge number 4. I mean, to be honest, I almost feel it's hard to compare this with these, because the big deal with Lisa Eldridge is that it is brown, the rest are black. I'm happy to have it because it's good to have a brown mascara. It works well, it's nice. I actually did use it on the lower lash line. I do have the Victoria Beckham brown liner. It's hard to see the mascara a little bit. It's a nice brown. I will say, prior to this one, I think my go-to brown mascara was from YSL. If I recall, the YSL one, that brown was a little bit more deeper and pigmented. And it was also more of a volumizing mascara comparative to. So I'm happy to have this. But after this, I probably would go back to YSL for a brown mascara. But I like it. I'm happy to have it. Now let's give it the blacks. So I'm going to then go Prada. I just love the packaging. It has this nice ribbed texture to this. And then the wand is so unique and different. Like I don't know, I get a kick out of the wand and the packaging. In terms of the formula, it's not bad. This is probably one that's probably better for the lower lash line. I think it'll grip the lower lash line better. I've used it on my top lashes and it's cool, it's nice. It's just okay. Next, Dior, once again, I'm always getting a sucker for packaging. I just love, you know, this packaging, you know, looking like stitches and then the Dior symbol. It's just, I just love love this. Now, my issue with this, I just feel like, you know, the wand looks cool. It looks like very traditional. We've seen wands like this before. The whole deal is they advertise this as being over volumizing mascara. So they're really emphasizing that's a volumizing mascara. I personally don't find it that volumizing. I find that it actually, if anything, provides length, separation, definition. It lifts up my lashes, which is nice, but I don't find that it does what it is advertising to be. I mean, I hope, like, you know, you can see like the spikes are like kind of like wildly, like they're very separated and everything. So they give separation to the lashes, but I don't think they're volumizing. So I think their original volumizing mascara, which they do sell, if I recall, because I haven't used it in a while, the Duoshore one, the other Duoshore one, I think that was more volumizing than this one. So this whole calling it over volumizing, maybe under volumizing. Lastly, we got Gucci mascara. I actually always find that I like Gucci mascaras a lot. I found the wand of this one very unique. I don't know, it's actually kind of cool. I like this one. It has like a happy medium. It kind of gives a fanned out butterfly effect, but it does still provide some volumizing. So it's like, it's that hybrid where it's like, I don't want to say like it's the most volumizing, but it does give a decent volumizing. And it gives some separation. It's not the most lengthening, but it gives just enough of everything that it's a nice happy medium. I like it. All right, let's do a fun category that brings some color. Let's talk blushes. All right, I got like 3 in this category. In the bottom, Chanel. You always got to give it up for packaging. I love the pouch that comes with this. So this came with the summer collection that goes with this lipstick. So this is it. And this is in the shade Soleil Couchant. So, you know, if you saw my video, and I still feel the same, I just kind of feel like it's kind of hard to pick up a little bit. It's very hard pressed. I didn't use it today, if you're thinking, not this side. I don't hate it, but I feel like it's a luminizing kind of blush. It gives more of a highlighter kind of feel in terms of formula, but obviously this color's too deep to use it as a highlighter, so I have to use it as a blush. It gives this like glow from within, so I do like it, but it's not my favorite blush formula. The highlighter is nice, and I did use that today. So I used that today. So it's nice. I'm giving you a heads up. I bought the other shade, the pink one, because like I said, I feel like this would be a good highlighter. I think the pink gold one is going to be great as a highlighter. So it's supposed to arrive today. So I will review that for you guys. And I'll let you know what the pink one is, because I didn't really buy any highlighters today. The only thing I can comment on is this side, which is nice, but no other highlighters for this ranking. All right, number 2 spot goes to Dior. This reformulation, I was scared formulation was going to be a bad thing. Oh no, it's a great thing. Oh my God, I love this blush. I know it's calling it number 2, but like, it's a great blush. I did use it today. Now, just giving you a heads up, because in my review video, I didn't give you any comparisons, which I normally do. I should have done this. Chanel cream to powder blush. This was Rouge Franc. They're not the same, but it's not exact dupe. But as you can see, they're in the same family. I actually used it today first. It's nice, but this is not as pigmented because it's cream to powder. This one's very pigmented. I've learned from that last video. I did not go into a dense brush. I went with a light brush and went lightly on top of the other blush, and I love it. I can confirm the reformulation, so much better. This is an actual improvement. But in first place, I have to give it up to YSL. As much as I love Dior, number 1, I have to give it to YSL for packaging. It feels more luxe. It's so cute. I love the packaging. And there was a lot more shades for me that I felt. I mean, Dior had good shades, but these are some fun shades. This purple, oh, if you're deep skin like myself, this is such a great shade. Pigmented. This is a more natural shade. Beautiful. There's a lot of shades to choose from, so just pick the shade that you find will be best for you. But formula, can't miss. Let's go to powders. I only have 2 in this category. And this is tough. Who's 1, who's 2? You won't believe it. I'm gonna say Givenchy's 2. And I don't hate it, I don't. If you watched me from last year, I had the loose powder version, and I loved that one. This packaging is cool. And I've been using this. I don't know if you can tell, but I've definitely made a dent in this. So I'm saying number 2, but I actually do like it. I just find I think I like the loose powder better. And I've come to realize, I think just in general, I prefer for my under eye loose powder more than pressed. But I do love this because also it's great to travel with. So whenever I've been traveling, I always use this. But I think I like loose powders better. So that's why I'm giving the edge to Huda. I know it's purple, it's scary, but she makes a great powder and all kinds of shades. So it doesn't have to be purple. But the purple, don't be scared, it works. And it actually provides brightening. So sometimes I do need it to, depending on what foundation I'm using, I might want to have a little bit more brightening. It's not scary brightening, but it provides more brightening. And I just love a loose powder formula. So I do like the Givenchy, but don't be scared of Huda. Here's the quickest category you're gonna have. Foundation. I only bought 1 new one. And this was a reformulation from Chanel, but I had never even had the OG version. I love this foundation, Ultra Le Tente Velvet. It's a blurring smooth effect foundation, velvet matte finish. It's like low to medium coverage, but it's a great texture, great formula. You can't lose with Chanel. Giving you a heads up, I did order the new Tier foundation. I love their cushioning. They have it now in liquid and concealer. So I got those on the way. So I will review those for you. Let's do nail polishes real quick. I got 3. Love them all. But what's the order? Okay, I'm going to put on the bottom Hermes. I love all 3. This is a fantastic color for this year. I love the color Hermes. You can't go wrong with the packaging. You know, it's really expensive. I use my Nordstrom notes so I didn't have to pay for it because it's a lot to be paying full price. You know, because it's hard for me to recommend, you know, because the price is a lot. But it's it does work beautifully. Nice formula. I like it. So I have nothing bad to say, honestly, but it just had to fall in the number 3 spot. Number 2, Chanel. You know, I love Chanel. And this shade was such a fun, unique shade. Utopia Peace 363. This might be limited edition. Even this one, I don't know if Hermes does a lot of limited edition, so this might be a limited edition spring. This should still be available. This one, this came more in the winter, so I don't know if it's still available or not, because I forget if this was limited edition. But if you can get your hands on it, it is so cool. I know it looks silver, but like a gunmetal silver, but it's got pink sparkles to it, but subtle, not like crazy looking. It's just such a unique and fun shade. But I'm gonna give the number 1 spot to Dior. This was a nice shade called Sienna, and I just really love the formula of Dior. So I think between the 3, in terms of just straight up formula, I think actually Dior's is the best. Chanel was a fun shade, but so is this one. So I don't know. All 3 nail polishes were nice. We're almost to eyeshadows. Last thing before I talk about eyeshadows, just real quick, perfumes. I don't normally talk about perfumes on this channel. But you know, I bought 2 this year, thought I'd talk about it. I kind of talked about this one, but didn't talk at all about this one. So I had first bought this one from Kayali. This scent, Fleur Majesty, I hope I expressed this, but you gotta really love rose. It's a very rose scent. This is gonna be a perfume, I'm not a perfume expert, but this is gonna be one that's not for everybody. It has a very strong rose scent, and my friend also picked up on the musk, which it does have it. So depending on your skin tone, your skin chemistry, you know, this might be considered strong, but if you love rose, this is great. The Chanel Eau Splendide. This one is on the opposite end of fruity florals. This is a fruity floral. I think it's a raspberry note. It's very soft. So if you don't like strong scents, this is very soft, very light. To be honest, I like to mix the 2 of these, and that's a perfect combination. It softens this one, this brings out this one. I think the combo is better than both. I'm not saying to buy both, but I'm just saying. So I don't know how to rank them. I just like the mix. All right, we have made it to the final category, and it's eyeshadow palettes. Yay! So, okay, let's just get into it. Who is falling to the bottom? And it is Tom Ford Rose Exposed. Now, I'll tell you this. It's not my only Tom Ford, so it's not a penalty against specifically the brand, because the other one is much higher up on the list. But this specific one is at the bottom. The positives are it's got a cool packaging instead of the normal black. It's got this red packaging, and the embossing is gorgeous. So that's what it's got going for it. Honestly, I had bought it because I had a friend who sold it to me at a great discount price. So I was like, sure, who am I to argue great discount price? And if I'm going to give money, why not give it to my friend? Why is it at the bottom? This color story is not that exciting, especially if you own other Tom Ford palettes. It's not an exact dupe for any of his other palettes, but we've seen this color story before. It's all right, but it just hasn't been one that has got me gravitating to use it more. So this falls at the bottom. Okay, which palette now just slightly inches up the list, but still near the bottom? YSL. I think Valentine's Day palettes were just, you know, fell flat for me because this was YSL's. I feel like the Tom Ford and the YSL, these were their palettes for Valentine's Day. Once again, bought for the packaging. I had a gift card, so to be honest, this is another one where I didn't really have to pay much for this one, but she's cute, but you probably got it from the video, my review video, but just even kind of, I think you can almost appreciate from these colors. These are really soft. They don't pop on me, on my skin tone. I'm not saying that they're ashy per se, but this formula is very soft and it's very nice, but these are not pigmented colors. With that being said, it's cute. You know, it's the kind of palette where I'm trying to do a simple look where I'm not trying to do too much, but I want to be put together. I can do this very quickly. you know, so this still gives enough depth. So you could put this in the crease, you could put this on the lid, and then this gives a very subtle sparkle. Like this is not, this is like a topper. So it's very subtle. So all these shadows, like this is the deepest one that you're gonna get. But that's the deepest. So these shadows are really soft against my skin tone. Yeah, it's bordering on ashy. I'm able to manipulate it so it doesn't look crazy on me, but you know, yeah, she's near the bottom. Next is Dior. The package isn't anything special, but the embossing, ooh, she pretty. So here we go. Always getting us with the embossing, right? Okay, so the embossing is everything, so it gets A+ for that. As you can see, I've been doing all my best to preserve it because it will, the minute your brush goes into it, it will disappear. So I've been just staying into my little corners and not just putting my brush everywhere. This is kind of like the last one, but a step up. So this has more pigmentation than the last one. It has more versatility, these colors, it being maybe a quint versus a quad. But nevertheless, this has more versatility than the YSL palette. So it's still not the most pigmented eyeshadow palette, but compared to the YSL, this is a more elevated version of that YSL. So like, if you could only pick between the two, then go with Dior, and you get the fantastic embossing. So she's cute, but there are better. Now this next one, I also can't say is the most pigmented palette, but I still like her. I don't know. So it's Prada. Prada come out like with like 3 of them, and you can go call it like fair, medium deep. I mean, this is the deepest one, and this is probably the only one that I could have possibly used. And even then, it's not the deepest, but it works. And she's cute, and this is that easy, once again, when you're trying to just have your look be pulled together, you're not trying to do too much, but she's doing something, and I like her. You know, these are tones that just, she works. And, you know, once again, the shimmer, I'm not saying that this is Pat McGrath kind of level shimmer, but it's a step up from the ones that I showed you last time. So she's, you know, this holographic kind of shimmer, you see what I'm saying? She gives more. She gives more than the other ones that I just swatched for you. You see what I'm saying? She's giving you something. What I love is actually the formula. It's like butter. These are the easiest to work with. These are very natural. Sorry, I'm trying to look where I'm going. These are very natural tones. But you see, these definitely show up more on me. They're tones that just are better with my skin tone. This I can put on the lid, and these in the crease. I put this, whether it be inner quarter or all over the lid. But she's cute. Like, you know, I don't know. I love the formula. She's simple, but she's still special. And the next one, I'm not sure if I should put it on the list. I'm going to. But technically, should I be putting her on the list just because this palette I'm about to show you, number one, it actually really came in 2024. I bought it this year. I kept telling myself to get it. I kept putting it in my cart, and then I wouldn't commit, and then it would keep getting sold out, and then it would restart stock. I put it back in my cart. I let it go. So, and I kept doing this, and I was like, after a while, I was like, stop it. Just buy it already. Clearly you want it. So it's a 2024 palette that I bought in 2025. And for that reason, I also didn't make a full video for it. I think I did a shorts, but I didn't do a full review. If you want a full review of the Viseart palette, Cyrenus Étendue, let me know, because then maybe I'll come back and I'll do a full review video for you. But this is a palette I've been using a fair amount of times in 2025. So she might be a 2024 palette, but she's my 2025. I've been liking her. First of all, I like Viseart formula, particularly their matte. So I like Viseart. And this is a nice palette. Probably the reason why I kept hesitating buying it, part of the reason, because you got these couple of shades that are very light. Admittedly, I don't really go into these shades, really. They're very light. I don't really go into shades. But the rest of them, I'm in it. So it's worth it to me still. And by the way, it's constantly going on sale. So Viseart does sales all the time. So you can get this on sale. So wait for a sale. You don't even have to pay full price. Okay. And if she goes out of stock, she'll come back. But this is a great palette. So, you know, in the crease, these two work great for me. This is all you got. So you got to use these two. And then if I really want to bring some more depth and really go in and lean in on the green, then I add this. Lots of shimmers to choose from. Obviously the special one. There's definitely a theme going on with this like holographic. I know it's like I feel like I'm swatching the same thing over and over again. But as you can see, this one in the Prada, you see how that's a more step up than what I was showing you in the YSL, right? Yeah. She's cute. She's cute. She's cute. But all the other shimmers are great too. So I don't know. Like I probably am swatching on all the wrong fingers, but the other ones are great too. So trust me, she's a good palette. You know, this green, you know, obviously the green is a major one to want it for. So, you know, it's that you can do nice neutrals. You can go in with the green and mermaid vibes. She's a nice palette. I actually did keep dipping into this a lot. So this is a cheat palette, but I thought it was worth mentioning. All right, back to palettes that truly came out in 2025 and palettes that came through with shine, pigmentation, no more ashiness, none of that, okay? So this is, now we getting into it. Lisa Eldridge. This was a surprise. You can't read this. It's Betty. Now, I even feel bad showing this because I don't think you can get this. This was limited edition and it's sold out like that. I don't know if she's ever going to bring it back. She should, because I'm telling you, the shimmers in this, in my opinion, are better than her standard palettes. That, you know, because the first go around, actually, I wasn't that impressed by. I was more impressed by this one. And, you know, I love purples, and these are just great and great neutrals. I'll swatch for you. She better bring these back, because especially like these ones. Oh. And I'm telling you, in person, they're even better. But like, this is maybe more of a topper, but still, like, these are great. Like, she did good with this. So she needs to stick to this formula, because she killed it with this formula. Like, these show out. These show up. You see? So I love her. This is especially great for this time of year. Now, obviously, it's all shimmers. So that's the only downside, is that you're going to have to go to an outside palette for some mattes. But yeah, she's worthy. Okay, we are down to the top 3 brands. Who's here? Who's here? You know, in past years, she would have always been number 1. This year, she's number 3. But I love her, and I'll give you my reasons. But Pat, she came back though. I'm so happy to be talking about her, because last year she didn't give us a mothership, and I was like worried, like, oh my God, no more motherships. And then she gave us this. You know, Pat McGrath had to be on this list. You know, like, she was not going to be anywhere near the bottom. That wasn't going to happen. Actually, I think it's a bigger surprise that she's not number 1. I mean, she could have been, but, you know, I could put her number 1, but I'm putting her number 3. You always can count on the packaging. Oh, you know, I love the packaging. Now, I will say, with the packaging, I don't know if you can know, but it's kind of loosey-goosey, kind of falling apart. And I will tell you, lately, I'm just opening it up. There's one other time, one of my other motherships did the same thing as well. That is kind of coming apart. Like, all my other ones don't do this, and I've had them long time, and these ones came like this. So be careful. You know, I mean, when it arrives shipping, it is how it is. If you're able to go in person, then you can ensure that yours won't be like this. It's a shame, because it's the only brand that I actually keep the outer carton. Every other brand, I generally get rid of them, but I keep all my mothership cartons. I'm still not going to get rid of her. And I got it in the special purple packaging. Yes, I know the shadows pop great against the black, but I have I own all her motherships, so I have them all in black. So I gotta have a purple. Yes, I gotta think a pink, a gold, a purple, and then all the blacks, right? Oh, isn't she pretty? The gradient. Luxe packaging. But it's not just packaging. We love her for the formula, and she did not disappoint. I still love her formula. I know the argument, special shade, yada, yada, yada. The formula is still better. She is better than everything else that I told you prior, every other palette formula I just said, she still beats them. And we could still even argue about the other ones, but we're going to still keep her in the number 3 spot. And it's not a pinky pink palette. No, she gave us purples and greens. Everybody was screaming, complaining, where's purples, where's green? She did it. Now, for that reason, actually, even though those are actually my favorite colors, purples and greens, purple, green, and blue are my favorite colors. With that being said, I actually think that's part of the reason why it's in the 3rd spot, but I'm looking at my top 10, like, should I be saying this? But anyway, it's a little bit limiting being purple and green because it's not going to be necessarily my everyday palette. I will also say too, though, like seasons matter. This is obviously great for the spring, and I think it will also be great as we go into summer. When I got this palette, it was still cold outside. We've had a long winter where I live, so even when it was technically spring, it was still basically like winter. So it was kind of hard a little bit also to get into this vibes. I think I'll be using this more because this is actually a great palette for the spring. I love all the shades. I mean, in my perfect world, I love this purple, but it would be nice if I also had a deeper purple. Not that I want to get rid of it because I love this in my transition, but I do admit, like, I'll go to other palettes sometimes to add a deeper purple, but like, it's not that she's like devoid of pigmentation. That's not the issue, So the mattes, I always love her mattes. Those are great. The shimmers. I didn't know I was going to do a whole swatch party, but why not? Why not? I mean, I hope you already saw my video, but I mean, they're all fabulous. And I know this is kind of being very similar color story to what I've done. I'm running out of fingers, but okay, you get the point. Watch my video. Fabulous formula. It's Pat McGrath. I really don't have to explain myself, I don't think. Of course she was going to be near the top of my list. But yeah, the top 2 are in the top 2 just because I have to admit, in terms of what I was gravitating more to use, what I used the most were the top 2. Maybe because it was due to the season, and in the winter, those were better for winter season. But I gotta admit, the top 2 I used more. So what's in my top 2? I put Tom Ford at the bottom of my list, right? That rose palette. But guess what? He bounced back like the phoenix, and here he is, number 2. I can't tell you how many times I use this palette. Olive Smoke. I use this palette so much, and I love the formula. It's his creme formula. What got me into Tom Ford was that other formula. The Wet to Dry, I thought there was nothing else that I could love more, but I love this. Now, obviously, you gotta love this color story. He came out with another palette that was a totally different color story with this one, but this was the color story that I gravitate to. So obviously, you gotta love these colors, but if you love these colors, the formula is so good. I love all 4 shades. But I'll tell you, this green right here, which obviously she's a star. I mean, if you don't like green, then why are you getting this palette? But let me tell you about this shade. Look at that. I don't really do one and dones, but this is what I would do. I basically do one and dones. Like this is one, you just go into this, you're done. You don't have to do anything else. Put that in the lid, smoke it out. It'll smoke out itself. You don't have to add anything else. Now, because I'm extra, I will at least put something in the inner corner. I will use the other shades. But I'm just saying, the green is so good, she stands on her own. But this is butter. So I know she's expensive. She's so expensive. But the formula is that good. So yeah, if you can get it on sale, get it on sale. I really say to pay full price for Tom Ford, but the formula's so good. See, check Macy's Having Friends and Family. I don't know if they have it available 15% off. Get it from Sephora when they have VIB 20% off. Look when Nordstrom has a sale, but oh, butter. Love this formula. And I just use this so much. Like I said, we'll see now that we're going to the spring. I might not use her as much, but in the winter, I just wore this palette out. I don't know, you can tell I've created a dent. I've tried to stick to one side for some reason. I didn't want to take off the Tom Ford. I took out all the T's and left the F's. I don't know. But anyway, okay. We have come to the final. What is my favorite eyeshadow palette? And I have to tell you, if you had come to me in December, January 1st, told me what brands were coming with eyeshadows, even if you told me these are the brands you are going to buy in 2025, and for me to predict what was going to be ranked number one, I would have never said this brand would be number one. I couldn't foresee that this was going to be my favorite brand. It's my favorite brand of this year. Victoria Beckham. I didn't know she could do eyeshadow. Now, this is not her first time doing eyeshadow. She came with eyeshadow palettes early on with her brand, but I didn't buy it during that time, and I didn't hear that great reviews, so I had no motivation to buy her eyeshadow palettes. I always loved her eyeliners, clearly. She is the best. I love her bronzer. I love a lot of products by her. Her lip gloss. But eyeshadow wasn't one that I ever gravitated until she reformulated her palettes. And then something told me, get it this time. Best decision I've ever made. First off, before we get to the product, because it's the formula, but we can't ignore packaging. Victoria Beckham never fails in packaging. All her packaging will look like this. So classy, beautiful, and it's weighty. If I'm going to pay the big bucks, I want to feel that it was worth it. And this feels like it's worth it. You know, Dior sometimes will give us some cheap packaging, but still want to give the hefty price. No. This feels worth it. It looks worth it. It's tiny, but you know, I love the size. I kept finding myself putting this in all my purses when I would try. I don't put eyeshadow palettes in my purses. I never retouched. But there was something about putting this in my purse. It was just so cute. I mean, yeah, obviously I can use the mirror, and it is a good mirror, but I usually use my phone as a mirror, but I don't care. There's something about this that I wanted this with me at all times. All right. Now, I'm going to get to the formula. I loved it so much. I have three, okay? Now, as a brand, I just decided I was going to end just with the brand, just put the brand as number one. Now, I got to rank these three, though, because I will say, if I'm being honest with myself, when it comes to these three palettes, I didn't use all three at the same level, okay? And some of the palettes I've talked thus far, I've used more than, particularly, what's going to come in between these three, what's in the third spot is this one. I will admit that I will say that I probably, you know, if this is just stand alone, and because this is just personal preference, some of the other palettes I've talked about thus far would go ahead of it just because of the color story, because of personal preference. Because I tend to be someone who likes neutral, cool tones. I love blues, purples, greens. And so a warm tone palette like this is not something that I gravitate frequently. But with that being said, the formula is fabulous. That's not the issue. It's just this color story is not, but if this is your color story, get her. I especially wanted it for the mattes, because that's what I love so much about Victoria Beckham. Her mattes, pigmented, blends beautifully. I love her mattes. And so to be honest, actually, out of these four, the brown is what I use the most. And actually I tend to use in conjunction with the other two. So this goes down. So now we're down to these two. So what did I say? My favorite color is blue, but I love neutrals. I love cool tones. All right, so blue is gonna come second, all right? This is the fun palette, obviously. I love blue. So I get a lot of usage just simply because I love blue. But blue is tricky. It's not necessary for at least for other people, not every day. It's not considered an everyday, obviously, color story. I know this might be intimidating to see all blue. What do I do? Well, I will combine it with a neutral palette, use the neutral shades in the crease, and then use these on the lid. The formula is really good, but I will have to admit, the blue is tougher to work with than you know, browns in terms of blendability, but then it's not bad. For blue, these are good, but I have to give up. The formula's better in the Victoria palette than the blue palette, but I still love it because I love blue and it still works well. If I could make this the perfect palette, I know this is supposed to be a quad. If I could break this in half, make this a quint, and add like a brown. If I could add the brown from this, put it here, now you have the perfect palette. Love it. But my ultimate #1 palette, forget brand, forget everything, beats everything I've shown you, is this palette. And I would never predicted that it would be Victoria Beckham, and I would never predict it would be this palette. I know it's boring. It looks boring. This has been like my new signature palette. This is now the new me. I don't know. I guess it's because I'm in my 40s, my 30s. I was all about shimmer and color. And now I'm cool with doing all matte neutrals. I don't know. I love her. And this was the shade that always scared me. But I will put this on my lid. I know it looks ashy crazy. Yeah. But trust me, you put that on the lid, it's gorgeous. But these are pigmented. This pigmented. This pigmented. Put that in your crease. Pigmented. This shimmer, she's cute, she's fun. Pigmented. Victoria Beckham. Brown girl friendly. Highly pigmented. Who knew? Blends beautifully. I don't know. I don't know. It's called the Victoria, but should be called the Daphne because this has now been my signature look. The look that I never knew would be me has become me. I don't know what to say, but she's my fave. Okay, I've talked enough. That is my 6-month update. That's my feelings on all the products that I bought and reviewed for you guys in 2025 so far. Let's see what the next 6 months is gonna bring. Obviously, I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of new makeup in the next 6 months. So this whole list is gonna get all shook up. And then we'll see at the end of the year in December when I do my year review, my year ranking. Will she be still #1 or will somebody come back to knock her off her pedestal? We'll have to see. But until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic day and I'll see you next time. Bye.